Ahoy folks, and welcome back to Broadside Gaming with me, Zugs. So we're carrying on with our 2026 updated guides for all the characters in Darktide, and today we're taking a look at the Hive Scum, our newest addition to the game. So, what are we using, I hear you cry? Well, we're using the shivs, and our dump stat is surprisingly, I know you're all going to be incredibly shocked by this, is mobility, because it's crap. We are taking damage, finesse, first target, and penetration. Lol. And for our perks, we're going with melee critical hit chance and then damage to carapace armored enemies. Blessings wise, we're going with uncanny strikes and precognition for plus 8% rending on enemy slot hit for 3.5 seconds, taking 5 times, and plus 45% finesse damage for 2 seconds on successful dodge. And you will be dodging a lot because you are Hive Scum. Next up, we are going with the dual stub pistols. We are going for damage, critical bonus, mobility. I know this is the shocking one. Mobility is actually useful. Penetration and collateral. As for the perks, we are going for plus 25% damage to flak armored enemies, and then we are going for increased range critical strike chance. Blessings wise, we are going for Speed Loader and Curican Roulette, or if you don't want Curican Roulette, you can go for Run and Gun, which is also very, very good. Next up, we have the Curios. Just checking my notes here to make sure it does actually max up to what I'm looking at. Yes, it does. So we have got 2 toughness and 1 health. They are tripleted. They are all the same. Toughness, stamina regeneration, and damage resistance gunners. Now, there is an argument to be made for dropping the max health curio for another toughness curio. You can totally do that if you want. I just find having a bit more health is just a little bit safer, and you have more of a cushion, because toughness does not stop all damage. Some damage will bleed through, so having max health does help. And also, if you really want to, you can get rid of the stamina regeneration and put in just plus 5% to health as well, so that you can have the 21% health and then another 15 spread across the curios, which will give you even more defense. So you can do either of those things and the build will still work perfectly well. Right, so that is the gear. Let's take a look at the talents. We shall start off over here on the left, in your face. Plus 25% range damage against targets within 12.5 meters, scaling down to a minimum of plus 10 at 30 meters and beyond. Basically, get very close to things. Then we're going for Voice of Tertium, replenish 8% toughness on ranged kill, elites and specials instead replenish 15. Then we've got Precision Violence, melee hits replenish 4% toughness, melee critical hits, strikes, and weak spot hits instead replenish 8, and critical weak spot strikes regenerate 12. Then we're going for Float Like a Butterfly, perfect blocks and successful dodges grant 20% critical strike chance for 3 seconds. It's not so much the perfect blocks we're looking for here, it is the successful dodges. Dodging gives you huge amounts of crit, which is in turn gives you huge amounts of damage. It's also while we have stamina regen on the curios, because we are dodging and moving continuously. And that just makes that a lot easier. But as I said, it does weaken your defensive when you do eventually get hit. And trust me, you will. Next up, we have Sticky Hands, plus 40% swap speed, and additionally gain 10% recoil and 30% spread while firing from the hip or bracing. It just makes it a lot easier to hit and crit with these weapons. Even if you don't want to brace, you can just fire from the hip and it's still very accurate, and there's basically no bouncing around in recoil. Right, I've completely forgotten where I was. Let's go for Calling for a Timeout. Minus 25% damage taken while reloading for 4 seconds afterwards. You're reloading continuously. Burst of Energy, gain stun immunity for 6 seconds and restore 50% toughness when toughness is broken. 10-second cooldown. I'm pretty sure we said that. I'm pretty sure we... Oh, no, did we say speed loader? Probably not. Let's do it again. Plus 30% reload speed for 8 seconds on close range kill. Again, you are going to be very, very close to everything. Now, for our blitz ability, we have Chem Grenade. Throw a grenade containing chem toxin. The canister breaks open when it explodes, spilling its contents out across an area for 15 seconds. Enemies standing within the toxic matter receive up to 6 stacks of chem toxin over time and explode upon death. 3 max grenades. The chem toxin grenades are absolutely awesome. They're very good for basically just murdering everything in a big group. They do work a lot better in the other build that I'm going to show you all. What you've already seen is the melee Chemtox build that I usually run. The grenades are far more virulent. Sorry, I can't speak. Jesus Christ. But as you can see, they're still pretty goddamn effective. I mean, if you want to, you can switch it out to the other grenades. I don't like Blackout, and the Boombringer is pretty goddamn hilarious. You know, it's a piece of PVC pipe with a rocket in it. What's not to like? Also, they've fixed the drop off. It used to basically come out like a geriatric piss. It used to just sort of fall out the end, but now it actually has some, you know, get up and go in it. So you can pick that if you want to, depending on the difficulty you're playing and how confident you are with your abilities. The Boombringer is very good for a snap, oh my god, that thing needs to die right now, or laying it into monstrosities. But the Chem Toxin Grenade is just pretty good across the board. Anyway, moving on. Gang Tough, plus 10% range damage and 10% toughness damage reduction into Nimble. Dodge speed is increased by 25%, and time considered dodging is increased by 0.15 seconds. Tis but a scratch, replenish 30% toughness over 3 seconds after taking range, toughness, and damage. Losing all toughness cancels the effect. God damn it, stop making me say toughness. Plus 40% dodge recovery speed while stamina is above 75%. Anarchist, plus 20. I wish it was plus 20. Plus 5% crit chance for unit allies' incoherency into toughness boost. And then we're taking Enhanced Desperado. Swaps to and reloads your ranged weapon, entering Enhanced Desperado for 10 seconds for the duration you count as dodging against ranged attacks. Sprinting costs no stamina, and you gain plus 20% sprint speed. While the ability is active, reloading your weapon does not reduce your ammo reserve. Additionally, enemies within close range become highlighted. Killing highlighted enemies with your ranged weapons extends the duration by 1 second. After 20 seconds, the extending becomes diminished. Base cooldown is 45 seconds. And then we're going to be taking Pick Your Targets. Gain 15% rending for your ranged attacks while Enhanced Desperado is active. Additionally, killing highlighted enemies also grants plus 3% range damage, stacking 5 times. Let's have a look into the middle first. We'll go for melee damage boost because you will have to switch to melee no matter how much you don't want to. Punching, sorry, not pushing. Jesus Christ, I can't read at all tonight. I can't speak either. Punching above one's weight, plus 15% damage against elites and monstrosities. And then we're taking Hive City Brawler, up to 20% damage reduction, depending on available stamina. Additionally, up to 20% melee damage, depending on spent stamina. And now for our Keystone Tree. Going for more crit, because crit is delicious. And then we're taking Swift Endurance, plus 2% increased melee attack speed for each current stamina. The Sweet Spot, 25% weak spot damage. Unload, reloading a ranged weapon grants 2% range damage for 7 seconds each. 10% of magazine spent during the duration grants 2% additional ranged damage. Then we're taking Hypercritical. Critical strikes instantly kill human-sized enemies if their current health is less than 2 times the amount of damage of the critical strike. This wasn't working very well when it first came out. It's probably working now. Pickpocket, killing an elite or special enemy while ammo reserve is below 20% will refill it back up to 20%. And then we've got our Keystone Vulture's Mark. Killing a special or elite enemy with a ranged weapon grants you a stack of Vulture's Mark for 8 seconds, stacking 3 times. Each stack grants plus 5% range damage, 5% range critical strike chance, and 5% movement speed. While it makes stacks, specials and elite ranged kills restore 15% toughness to you and your allies' incoherency. Then we've got Vulture's Push. Killing elites or special enemies with ranged attacks knocks all enemies around you backwards. Is incredibly useful. And Vulture's Dodge. Ranged critical hits make you count as dodging against all attacks for 1 second. This is absolutely amazing. Again, it wasn't working very well when the class first came out, but then again, nothing was. It's probably working fine now. Maybe. Probably. But there you go. That is the ranged Hive Scum. I mean, I don't think you guys have seen this build from me since the actual release, because I went with melee more often than not with the Hive Scum. But it's a very good build, lots of damage, and quite easy to use compared to the melee builds. Fast paced, lots of shooting, run and gun kind of thing. You know, our melee weapon is the shivs, but They are very good. I didn't like them to start off with, but as you can see, they're very, 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 very good. And this is, we haven't even got the precognition and the other blessing working because it won't proc in the Psychonarium or the meat grinder, whatever the hell you want to call it. But it does do quite a lot of damage against targets, even though you are basically tuned to ranged. There you go, see? Lots of damage, lovely. But there you go, folks. That is the updated Hive Scum build for 2026. I will be doing the melee build, so don't worry about that. It will be coming very, very soon. And yeah, that is it for this one. So if you've enjoyed, please do like and subscribe. It really does help out the channel. And I shall see you all for next videos. Until then, take it easy, and I shall see you later.